All right, we're here at NFTLA. Please introduce yourself and Chicken Waffle to the audience and tell us a little story.
Sure. Hey, I'm Finn Staber. I'm the CEO of Chicken Waffle. We host online virtual events and build immersive content for the world to enjoy. We've been around for a while and been involved in a bunch of different cool events and different verticals, and now with NFTLA really coming through the ether and providing a professional event, focused on NFTs specifically. It's been really exciting. And so we met the organizers at Art Basel in Miami and really hit it off and brainstormed on how to essentially take their event to the next level and kind of bring it into the metaverse and bring augmented reality experiences into the show floor and do like cool communal experiences and stuff like that. So it's been a lot of fun. It's a good week.
So Finn, you were telling me some stories and all sorts of brands that you have worked with in your career. Of all the stories, nothing too technical, but just more personable, what pops to your mind in terms of like this one particular moment when you felt like, I really love what I'm doing?
Wow. Well, there's the projects that make money are always good, but the projects that do good for the community, I think, are some of the things that are really great to lean into. We doing things for like public schools or creating things and like platforms for educational creators to be able to build their own immersive content. I think that's some of the most rewarding things, because you're unshackling these people that otherwise need engineering. You said like not too technical. That's the whole point, is that there's a lot of people with really great ideas, with really great passion, the notion of what content needs to be, the direction of who that needs to be delivered to, and they're marketing executives or they're educators, and they have all the passion, all the knowledge, a direct focus on what they want to build, but they might not have the engineering prowess. So a big thing that we've been focusing on lately with XR Swim is a platform for, essentially we're kind of coining it the WordPress of XR. So it's the ability for the average internet user to control immersive content from a dashboard that they can create QR codes or short links and distribute online virtual metaverse experiences or augmented reality scavenger hunts or virtual storytelling through the use similar to making a WordPress page or uploading a YouTube video and setting the metadata up. And so it really democratizes the ability for people to build and share and publish immersive content.
All right, so I want to go into a little bit about how you have been building in your hometown and you're still there. Sure. So you got the hook'em horns right there on your cap. And my small hook'em horn story is I went to school at the University of Illinois because I had the top accountancy program at the time. Number 2 was Austin, but I think it's flip-flopped. So if I didn't get, I might have ended up there. But so Champaign, Illinois has a dear place in my heart. But I know there's a lot of really smart accounting students at the University of Texas. And here at NFTLA, or any blockchain technology-oriented conference, we're talking about a distributed ledger. We're talking about how financing, how banking, how money is changing. You are making change happen in your hometown. Tell everyone a little bit about what it's like to invest in the place where you grew up. And you told me that your whole team is based in Austin. Is that correct?
Yeah. We're Austin-based. I'm one of the rare natives, which is not many of us over 30. I joined the Army right out of high school so I could get out and see the world. And everywhere I went, I need to go back to Austin. And really love it there. It's a really cool spot. And we've been involved with creating technology meetups, sponsoring technology programs at public schools, setting up their labs, donating hardware, getting partners like Dell to donate hardware and Alienware. HTC Vive and Oculus has been really cool at like providing hardware for these students to like get in. Google has given a bunch of Pixel devices for these students to be able to develop content with. And I think from a tech company's perspective, what we can provide is a lot of just educational prowess for being able to just give some hands-on explanation of what's expected in the tech industry, and when it comes to things like, building this next generation of currency with decentralized, banking and cryptocurrency, I feel like it's a responsibility for the tech leaders in this space to spend a little bit of time to reach out to the public schools and provide a little bit of that trade knowledge into the next generation of the future leaders. I mean, the people that are 10 years old and have a desire to work in digital media are going to be the people that we're dependent on, running the world in a few decades. And those people are like sponges with knowledge. And so I really try to urge, other tech professionals to be involved in maybe go buy half price books and picking up $20 worth of books that they know are relevant, because the teachers are really excellent at herding the cats, but they're not always necessarily trade specialists. So the trade specialist can go into a bookstore like Half Price Books, spend $20 and know what's valuable and what doesn't need to be picked up, go and just deliver those to the front office of a high school, and can really change the future for certain individuals that otherwise would have never had the opportunity to have those resources presented to them. And so that's a really great way that I think people of all trades, really, whether it be mechanics or carpentry or whatever, but especially with tech, because it's changing so rapidly that a lot of the books become legacy and essentially, not really important anymore. And so the teachers aren't going to be able to understand what's valuable and what's not. And so we as tech professionals can go in there and say, this is relevant, this is kind of irrelevant and old data now. So these are the ones that the school could use. And it takes 20 minutes and $10 that you can really change the future for certain individuals' lives and in your direct local community. And so I think it's a really great way to kind of focus,
So staying with this, there's folks out there that are new to blockchain, crypto, NFTs, this whole world of Web3, and they've been hearing about kids playing games, and whether it's Roblox or Fortnite or whatever it might be. And they know that there's purchases, in-game purchases that are happening. And for us, or folks here who are a little more seasoned in this world, we have a deeper understanding of the connection between how purchases in a game are related to purchases of coffee, in terms of building systems that might start out in gaming but eventually evolve into everyday fabrics of society. So for the folks out there that are brand new to the space, could you, as a gaming and entertainment, amongst a few other areas, obviously, as we've been hearing, as an expert, can you break it down in simple terms to help someone out there understand, like, the young kid who's 10 years old or 13, and, some people might think they're wasting their time playing video games, but they're actually learning about the technology that's not of tomorrow, it's actually of today now. Can you just go into that a little bit and break it down in layman's terms to help people understand why we should be urging young people to dive into their games deeper, so long as there's good values behind the game?
Sure. Yeah, well, I think it's interesting to think about the way that humans naturally hold value, heightened value, to scarcity and provenance, right? That is just the basis of what NFTs hold their value, because of scarcity and provenance. That's why Michael Jordan's old sweaty jersey is worth $1 million, or Willie Nelson's scraped up old guitar is a one-of-a-kind $1 million guitar, while otherwise it would just be a $300 guitar at a pawn shop. When you think of that scarcity and provenance in the digital form, it's somewhat usually skeptical of, like, well, isn't this a false scarcity because it can be distributed every time? Well, that could be the case until you start thinking about who owned this. Maybe it's an influencer, maybe it's a popular gamer, maybe it's a celebrity that got to play this game, and now because the fact that it's tied to the blockchain, this item's tied to the blockchain, sure, maybe in the game it's sword number 7 is this sword, but in this live stream by one of the biggest influencers, he said, this is the sword of Bahir, and goes on a crazy, orc slashing, just, tirade of going through and, smashing a bunch of orcs with this sword. And now that is the sword of Bahir. It's this sword. There's not a second one. It's that one that this influencer took on his tirade, and now it's up for grabs. Or maybe it's a tournament, and it's you're in there with PewDiePie, and you dust him and take his gun, and now this is PewDiePie's gun. And it's not gun number 13 that has this blast rate and whatever else in a game, like typical games would just be whatever the game is. Or whatever the gun is, but this has the ability to, especially in like these multiplayer ecosystems or social ecosystems, guns, swords, all those things that actually affect gameplay are one thing, but I think really where it goes across, where it becomes very interoperable and tied to where the future's going with this, because it is now that we're starting to see this stuff, but it still kind of seems like we're looking at the tip of an iceberg through binoculars. Like, we're not there yet. We're getting there. If we had to compare the adoption of this content to Angry Birds on an iPhone, we're still in the Razr flip phone era, right? We're very early to this ball game. And so where I think it's going, and what I'm seeing from a lot of other cool collaborators and creators and fashionistas, are things like accessories and clothing, purple mohawks, and different things for your avatar are not just going to be for your digital avatar in Fortnite or Roblox or Altspace or all these different platforms. What they're going to do is, as wearable tech becomes to proliferate into mass market, your body will be the base builder for your avatar. So because my smart glasses are using, positional tracking and geo tracking technology, and yours are too, my glasses know where your glasses are. So I know that your user number such and such, which has your name above it, and I see your big purple mohawk on your head and your cool parrot on your shoulder and your neat little digipet hanging out with you, and your accessories that you've accumulated through going to a Skrillex concert or a Steve Aoki concert, and now you have cool Steve Aoki hair or something.
Steve the other night, in a small venue. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was really neat. And I think the more we do that, I'll be able to look at you and see that you're wearing your concert t-shirt digitally, and that is going to go with you, and you'll be able to wear those things and collect those things, and it'll be interoperable across the metaverse. So it won't just be when I'm wearing my smart glasses that I see you, but also when you jump into those video games, your avatar will also be wearing that same shirt. So you will look like your avatar, and your avatar will be wearing the digital clothing that if I just look at you with my smart glasses, I'll see those accessories, the stripes on your sleeve from the battles you've gone through, or the provenance of
whatever you want to verify.
Yeah,
I can verify that you graduated from this school. You can verify that I have this skill. So there's so many ways that we can go on. We're gonna have to cut off. I can tell that you and I could talk for like hours upon hours. The last thing we're gonna do is, there's three types of. You already know this stuff, I know, but for folks out there, there's three types of brands out there, right? You have a brand which is like Finn's Technology Services, and that's a layer 1 brand, okay? Then you have a layer 2 brand, which is something like Mars Technology Team Services, which is a little bit more encompassing of a team. It's not so specific to like the owner. And then you have a level 3, which is something like Apple. What does that have to do with computers? You have a level 3 brand, Chicken Waffle. Tell us the story about how Chicken Waffle came about, and also how people can get in touch with you.
Sure. Well, I was a co-founder and CTO of Wave, which is a virtual reality music platform experience. And I found myself performing in all these after parties and going to like 26 conferences in 2016, talking with the folks from Warner Brothers about Ready Player One. And we were lining up this project to work with Ready Player One. And I wanted to form this new studio. And, I had a spreadsheet of cool, nerdy game idea, for studio names, that I had been working on and trying to brainstorm on what's the right name for the studio. And I wanted something memorable, something avant-garde, but also, something that people like, right? And so we were having meetings in all these different cities with the same people, and they'd be like, hey, let's have brunch tomorrow after the conference. And so I would Google search what's the best chicken and waffles in Boston or Seattle or San Francisco or whatever, because what I found is that if the place has good chicken and waffles, everything else in the menu is awesome. And if they messed up their chicken and waffles, they're probably making all kinds of bad decisions.
In Washington, D.C., that would be Founding Farmers.
Yeah. And so when you find something like that, everything else on the menu is good. So it became like a staple of quality is if somewhere has good chicken and waffles, right? And I just like the meal. So I would have these brunch meetings and I'd have a plate of chicken and waffles. And I was talking about the kind of creative content platform that I wanted to build, with the studio that I wanted to build, with the creative culture of freedom and creative freedom and flat hierarchy. And a lot of these times, these VR or XR companies, they get swooped in year one, year two, and acquired, and it ruins the flavor of their indie soul. And so I pointed my plate of chicken and waffles. I was like, hey, well, so we'll call the name Chicken Waffle, and we'll have holding companies called Box of Napkins, Salt and Pepper, Fork and Knife. And if we create a really cool IP that we want to sell to Google, Google can buy Box of Napkins because we did a technology assignment agreement to Box of Napkins. They can purchase Box of Napkins and never change the flavor of my chicken and waffles. And we just kept on talking, and like half an hour later, I was like, "Oh man, that's something funny. There's something magical there." And so I was also doing at the time like a subcontract for the DoD, and I called this old gray-haired, barrel-chested old guy and told him, "Hey, what do you think about signing an invoice to a studio named Chicken Waffle?" He's like, "Wow, dang, that's a great idea. That's memorable right there. Geez, you got to do that." And I was like, "All right, well, I got this old codger to do it. Then I know that all my tech nerd friends will love it." And so so we started that, and and since then we've launched a handful of games, won some really great awards, had some really great popularity and success with some really fun, innovative content, launched like 76 different work-for-hire partner projects with different clients and partners like Red Bull and Disney and all these different toy companies and stuff, and just doing AR and VR, cool, immersive technology, really leaning into Web3 and Web AR, Web XR, filters, all these different things. And then, and just recently we just went live with a equity crowdfunding campaign on Start Engine which is a new way of like private
Mr.
companies.
Wonderful promotes that.
Yeah,
doesn't he?
yeah. And so he's one of the board members, and it allows private companies to go public with up to $5 million worth of their stock per year. And so we have a campaign running right now at startengine.com/chickenwafflevr, which can give a whole overview of all the different games that we're working on, all the things with esports and blockchain and everything that we're doing. And we just opened up the XR Indie Creator Fund, where we're partnering and publishing with other indie creatives that are building immersive content or gamified NFT experiences, because we really feel that it's important and responsible to lean back into the creative content developers of the world and provide funding and promotion and production value of, especially when it comes to like engineering strength, multiplayer capabilities, stuff like that. That's just huge, and the ability for us to partner with those people and provide that next level of the stairway without them having to necessarily, VC grunt work themselves and grow in a way that was unnatural to their small indie 3-person team or something. We've just shown a lot of success there. And so it's a really exciting ride to be on. And it's been an honor being part of NFTLA. We had a virtual environment running the entire time. We were the metaverse partner here, which was cool because we had, a virtual live conference center with talks and nightclubs. We did the Aokiverse in our virtual reality nightclub Brain Dance, and it's just a lot of fun. It's fun to work with other cool creative people that have a vision of the future and help them get there.
And so in addition to searching Chicken Waffle VR, what's your personal social or the company's social for people to follow?
Sure. It's Chicken Waffle VR on every platform, and I'm Finn Staber, FINNSTABER. And if you want to go to chickenwaffle.com, you'll also see a bunch of crazy, zany stuff, and we're giving away some VR headsets and Alienware hardware too. So, jump on, get in our beta, give us feedback, and get some sweet gear.
And if they want to go to Austin, that's where you guys are based?
Yeah.
Best chicken and waffles in Austin. Where's it at?
I would say best chicken and waffles in the world is at Diner 24.
Diner 24.